I'm Brian Jeffery, and I'd like to speak about my new book, which is called Espana de la Guerra, the Spanish political and military songs of the war in Spain from 1808 to 1814. It has been printed, and here is a copy that's just arrived from the printer. I'd like to say three things about the book. First, that it covers completely unknown and unexplored territory. I'll go into more detail about that in a minute. Secondly, I'd like to speak about Fernando Sor, who is the principal known composer of these songs, with 6 songs to his credit. And thirdly, I'd like to talk about an aspect of the songs that I think is very important. I think they are a very powerful piece of propaganda. First of all, the unexplored aspect. This book is about the musical scores of the songs as much as about the texts of the songs themselves. And most of those musical scores are outside Spain. They're in London, or they're in Lisbon, or they're in The Hague, or they're in lots of different places. And because they're outside Spain, that's probably the reason why this subject hasn't really been covered before. A few scholars have mentioned them, but nobody has done an overall survey and nobody has catalogued them. The catalogue in my book has about 160 songs in it. And for me, it's been very exciting, finding out all kinds of new things which haven't been covered before. For example, a young officer in Wellington's army heard a performance of the principal song, Espana de la Guerra, in Seville, and said it was so thrilling that unless you were there, you can't possibly imagine it. Now about Fernando Sor. He wrote 6 songs altogether. 5 of them are anti-French, which is what nearly all of these songs are. He was in Madrid at the time of the Battle of Bailén, when the Spaniards won a victory over the French, and he more or less had to go along with the current opinion. So he produced those 5 songs. They're strong, virulent, helping the effort of the people who were against the French. But the 6th song is different. He wrote it at the end of 1811, when Lord Wellington's army had made big progress in Spain, and when the guerrilla armies were causing a lot of trouble, especially aided by the vast subsidies that they were being paid by Great Britain. And this 6th song is very touching. It's a reflection on the state of Spain, and Sor wrote the text as well as the music of the song. He talks about the division of the country and hopes that better things may soon come to Spain. Thirdly, about propaganda. A propagandist usually puts out texts, spoken or written, printed or published in newspapers, or nowadays on radio or television or social media. These songs are different. Any songs in propaganda are different, because with songs, the recipients of the propaganda are being asked to sing the message themselves. They are reinforcing the message by singing the songs to themselves, to their neighbors, and to everybody else. So I think these songs are very powerful propaganda, perhaps an apex of propaganda itself. And then one more thing I'd like to say is that my view of the politics of the time is not the standard view. So anybody who reads my book will be able to explore an unusual view of the politics of that time. And finally, I'd like to say that I think, and I hope, that it's a good read. Thank you very much.